That is the new terrorist playbook. They're not looking necessarily for a spectacular attack like we had on 9/11.
Hello everyone, welcome to CRUALTY. We appreciate your support. So today we're going to talk about Kristi Naomi, how she loses it yesterday in the Congress hearing, and we're going to talk about also what is between President Trump and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and the Somalis community right now. It's a debate going on. Some are allegedly accusing Somalis to be illegally exploiting the United States, but others are saying this is a political motivated threat. So we are to see what's gonna follow. So Kristi Naomi is the Secretary of Homeland Security Department, a department in charge of national security, home affairs, immigration enforcement, and counter-terrorism activities. Kristi Naomi also, DHS department has allegedly since the beginning of Trump administration delivered on one thing, which is the southern border, securing the southern border to be a free zone from immigrants from Latino America. So right now, this southern border, on the part of Mexico, New Mexico, Texas, this is 100% secure border. That's where Kristi Naomi, Department of Homeland Security, and also President Trump administration has really delivered. And the flower goes to them. However, but Kristi Naomi has been accused of lawlessness by her colleague from Democrats, precisely in immigration enforcement. So, for example, let's talk about this. Kristi Naomi Abrego Garcia case. The Department of Homeland Security deported 100 of immigrants to El Salvador, and among them there was this guy Abrego Garcia. And this guy, the judge, the court, the United States federal court, has ordered Kristi Naomi to return the flight in the middle. And then Kristi Naomi allegedly didn't respect the judge court. And it was a very controversial decision. And things turned around. The guy was detained in terrorist prison in El Salvador. It went through media. And everyone was like, how things are going on Trump administration. We can have a country without law, and everyone should abide or must abide to the law. And that's what happens. And in the end, actually, Abrego Garcia was returned. But the fact that Kristi Naomi, the Secretary of Homeland Security Department, didn't respect the court in the first place was a red light for some people. Second, it's her department is also allegedly not respecting United States citizens. For instance, it's reported that the Department of Homeland Security is detaining American citizens. We're gonna not talk about that much here, but the First Amendment of the United States talks about the freedom, and before you arrest or detain someone, you should have a very grounded reason to do that. And but this is not the case when the IC comes at your door or picks you in the street and detain you. And in this case, ICE is reportedly detained many United States citizens without any arrest warrant, detained them 1 to 2 days, and then released them. And for some political analysts, this is not really a law-abiding way to go. Another case is deporting pending asylum seeker who are legally in the United States. Actually, yesterday in Kristi Naomi hearing in the Congress, one of the lawmaker, one of the congressmen asked Kristi Naomi if asylum seeking is one of the legal way to stay legally in the United States, which Kristi Naomi agreed and said, yeah, it's illegal. But then when confronted about why do you deport them when their asylum cases are pending, and she responded, well, you see, this is a mess from Biden administration. So she kind of dodged the question, and it was actually surprising to see. Another thing is some lawmakers allegedly accused Kristi Naomi of confusing most of the worst criminals to good people. So she's allegedly accused of not knowing or making the difference between the worst criminals and the good people in the system. And lastly, the deporting United States veterans who have taken bullets for the United States, which is kind of surprising. People who have took the bullet for the United States and have been deported. One single case comes in of one U.S. veterans who has been reportedly deported to Korea. And this guy, Kristi Naomi, was urged to review the case and find a way to bring him back as a United States veteran. Some also political analysts say the immigration customs investment are cruel and not identifying themselves is not really a wonderful or a good way to go in a law-abiding country. So for the above allegations, Kristi Naomi has apparently failed to give substantial answers to the question raised by the congressmen and women. Every time she's confronted with evidence and facts, she often blames Biden administration failure and says she's cleaning the mess. Some of the congressmen and women have called her to resign from her duties, and or begin the process and procedures to impeach her in the Congress. You may ask yourself what President Trump thinks about Kristi Naomi's performance. Needless to say, Trump is Kristi Naomi's boss, and he's more likely on our side. And the only possible way to impeach the secretary is to have the majority in the Congress, which is dominated by the Republicans who are pro-Trump and pro-MAGA and pro-American first. Something which is also critical. So, I think it's reported that Kristi Naomi lives now in a military barracks near Washington. So is the other member from Trump cabinet. They claim they fear for hooligans, far-right extremists, lunatics, who always give the threats to their life. However, it is also reported that the ICE threats from people have been on rise, which might sound a bit controversial, since ICE is the military. They have weapons by them, they have everything, and they allegedly claim they face a lot of intimidations and threats from the people, from far-right lunatics, as President Trump describes them. So, it is also reported that immigrant communities, refugees, asylum seekers, naturalized citizens, students, and temporary staffs working in the United States, it has been reported that the fear has been on rise in the United States for those kind of communities. And Fear is contagious, and it's spreading across the United States communities, citizens and non-citizens, and there's something to see and to review how things will unfold. So now let's jump on our next topic. What is between Ilhan Omar and President Trump? I mean, it has been almost 3 months where the president's speech can't really go without mentioning Ilhan Omar and Somalis community in the United States. Now, normally President Trump and Ilhan Omar is a congresswoman from Minnesota, but she has a background, immigration background from Somalia, one of the East African country in the Horn of Africa. So it's reported that Ilhan Omar and President Trump are political opponents, which makes sense. One is Democrat, another one is Republicans. But the problem now, the issue have been reported going viral because now not only President Trump accused Ilhan Omar of someone to be deported to Somalia, of being non-American, loving American, and that she must be deported. But President Trump also accused her community of fraud and scam for defrauding the United States of Minnesota. So now, some political analysts say, you know what, this is not going this is not going in the right way. This is not going to be good for immigrant communities. And President Trump is accused of bigotry comments and of discriminating non-white African country nationals or immigrants living in the United States. President Trump has denied the allegation, has denied those allegations, say no, we should talk and speak things in their names. So what do you think about this? How this standoff between Ilhan Omar and President Trump will end, and how after this saga Somalis community are gonna be taken, or how their reputation will be in the United States, especially more precisely in Minnesota. And what do you think, Kristi Naomi? What do you think will happen to Kristi Naomi? Is she gonna be impeached, or she's gonna be fired by President Trump? That's something we can wait and see in the future. I have to remind you that Kristi Naomi before was also a lawmaker in the Congress before she became the United States Secretary of Homeland Security in this way. Either President Trump and Ilhan Omar are friends or real enemies. That's something we have to get. Trump's speech cannot go without Ilhan Omar. For some political analysts, Trump's allegation to Ilhan Omar is politically motivated. Somalis are the collateral damage between this political standoff between Ilhan Omar and President Trump. Of course, this is our opinion. This is my opinion. And we hope we can have different opinions, but we all have the United States. We all like the United States, and liking the United States means liking its people and its residents. In our next live, which will be in the evening, we talk about how protecting immigrants is also making American first. Many people doesn't know, because if you don't protect immigrants, you are spreading the fear. You are spreading lawlessness. You are spreading you are not abiding to the United States Constitution, which protect the First Amendment for every American resident, regardless of his legal status or not, illegal and legal. The First Amendment protects, the Constitution protects every United States resident, and that's why protecting immigrant is also protecting the United States. Sometimes I wonder, when you look at the creation of the United States as a country, you will see that the United States have been created by immigrants from London, from UK, from Germany, from Poland, from Ireland. And those people all came from different backgrounds and created the United States. And that's what's unique to the existence of the United States. If, American Indians who were there, the natives, were there before the British and the Europeans came and found this United States federal states, those people do not say anything. So if we are to go long time ago how the United States was created, we should also be aware that even today protecting immigrants is also making America great again and making America first. Thank you so much. See you in the evening. Bye bye. My name is Cheu. We are starting this YouTube channel for those who are non-American citizens but who are resident in the United States, to discuss about the current policies impact on our daily lives, but also to discuss about how America can be more diverse, more inclusive. I know sometimes people say those who are not assimilating to the United States should be leaving the country, should be deported. Guys, we want to be assimilated, and some of us are assimilated actually. More actually assimilated. We speak your language, we work with you, we eat together, we go in the same event, we party together, we share families. I don't understand which assimilation you're talking about, you guys. And some other people are talking about the culture. Those people who don't adapt our culture. And I would ask you, what is the culture? Because you might find people in Indiana having different culture from the people of New York. So what is the culture? It's something to be discussed and to talk about. I understand culture in terms of language, because the United States has one language, which is really great, which makes the United States great again. But when you talk about culture, you might find also people, small groups having different culture. For example, the hip hop culture. Do you think every American has a hip hop culture? No way. For example, the cowboy culture. Do you think United States has all the United States people have cowboy culture? No. And so forth. Thank you so much. See you in the evening.